What is up, Sales Dev Squad? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode on our podcast series. We have a super special guest for you today. Former Denver Nuggets dancer, a Colorado native, now turned an SDR over at, I believe it's Spekit, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the one and only Megan Castro is on the podcast today. Megan, I'm a huge fan of your content, and I'm excited to just learn a little bit more about your story, but thank you so much for hopping on today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here. I'm honored to be on with you. So I'm excited to chat with you today.
Awesome. Well, Megan, I guess for anyone who hasn't come across your LinkedIn profile yet, for whatever reason, do you mind just sharing a little bit more about you and I guess what you kind of were in before you took this leap into tech sales?
Yeah. So a little bit about myself. Not that you haven't already mentioned, but I am Colorado native, born and raised. Went to CU Boulder, graduated, and was the last walking class before
Nice.
this
COVID.
pandemic hit.
Jeez.
Um, Went into dentistry as I thought I wanted to be a dentist and work in a dental office my whole life. Worked there for about 8 months and realized that I didn't want to go to a dental office every single day for the next 20 years and started to look around. Just finished dancing for the Denver Nuggets for 5 seasons and found a startup named Spekit, based in Denver. Loved the culture, loved what they stood for, and loved the people there. So not only that, but the product was awesome. So I knew I could get behind that and applied and, got onboarded and hired during the pandemic. So first time SDR
Yeah.
in a remote environment. It was interesting.
That's incredible. I guess I saw on your LinkedIn here that you were actually dancing with the Nuggets while you were also going to school, or you did that like the entire time you were in school?
Yeah, you're accurate with that.
Jeez.
So I was dancing. I've danced my whole life. After high school, I knew I didn't want to go the collegiate route, so auditioned for the Denver Nuggets for the NBA. Made it at 18 and started college as a first generation college student then as well,
Dang.
and juggled both of them while still having a job and paying my way through school.
Could you like describe your experience, the experience that you had, like, dancing for a professional sports team? Like, what were some of the cool things that you were able to do and just experience?
Well, that's a big question, especially with 5 years on the team.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was a whirlwind. I'm like so appreciative for my time with the Denver Nuggets. Not only was I able to dance at all home games, I was able to create. I know it's going to sound cheesy, but it is a sisterhood that you get into, and everyone's not the mean girls that you see on those TV movie series. It's
Yeah.
truly friendships that last a lifetime. And on top of that, traveled internationally to represent the NBA. So I can't think of one thing that stands out the most because they were all so memorable experiences. I definitely love that I did get experience playoffs once before I retired.
Mm.
Didn't do it this year, but they were in the bubble, so I was okay with that.
That's crazy. And then I guess you were sort of doing some like health related sales afterwards, or could you like describe like what your journey was like after you danced or finished sort of that aspect of your life and knew that you wanted to do something else?
Yeah. So when going to school, I paid my way through school by doing network marketing. So I was part of an MLM back in the day, and kind of just sales just kind of fit well with me. I was good at it, and I enjoyed it. I loved the rush you get with it, and
Mhm.
just didn't really picture myself going into sales. Then now I'm in sales. So it just is kind of funny how I started there just as just something to help me pay for my tuition going through school, while still having, not having to clock in and out of a job with my classes and dancing in the NBA. And then realized that, hey, I'm kind of good at it. Let's try it out again. Let's try to get in the tech space, and was able to get in right before everything went remote.
Yeah. I know like Denver, Colorado in general is starting to grow their tech scene there specifically. How did you figure out like that is sort of what you wanted to do next, like I guess tech specifically.
Yeah, well, I have some friends who were already in the space, and when I said I was looking around and I knew I didn't want to go this avenue anymore, they brought up, conversations about it when we were out and about, and kind of seemed interesting, but I was like, I don't know what I want to do. It's scary when you have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I was like, well, if I just don't like it, then I don't like it, and I could find something else. But ended up really loving it. Well, I do love it right now, but when I ended up looking into it, got connected with a few different people, really just picked their brains to hear the good and the bad and the ugly, so I could be completely prepared of what I was entering into, and was like, okay, if that's the worst it can be, I think I can do it, and if that's the best, then I would really enjoy it, so let's go for it.
Huh. So like how was like the first sort of couple of months for you as you started over at Spekit? Do you sort of remember any specific challenges that you had to endure, or like what do you feel like was the hardest part of you getting situated in that role?
Yeah, well, I think I'm pretty fortunate for joining Spekit because Spekit offers a product that's an in-app training solution. So I was able to get onboarded using our own
Oh
solution.
wow.
I was in the office. I want to say we got a new office. I was in there about 3 days, and then got an email from my CEO, Melanie, and she said, "Hey, I want everyone to be safe. We're going to start moving to remote." And I was like, okay, I've been in the office 3 days. Let's see how this goes. I'm really going to be a product of the product. So it honestly helped me. It's weird to say, but going remote helped me become more of a product of our product and speak to it even with more strength and confidence. And so I don't want to say I didn't have any struggles because I feel like everyone does, but I got in the groove of working from home really easily just by the use of our product.
So does Speckit specialize in any specific niches with like training and onboarding, or is it pretty much tech, or how does that usually work?
Yeah, so a little bit about what we're doing over at Spekit. Like I said, right now we're actually really helping a lot of companies drive revenue by increasing employee productivity and efficiency with our in-app training solution. So, in the simple term, that means just giving employees the training and documentation that they need and want directly in their workflow across any application. So ultimately, just helping any employee work smarter in the cloud. Um, that's basically the gist of it, and that's why I don't know if you've been in onboarded and you get all this information all at once, and then
Yeah, a lot
next
of
day you're
Google
like, oh, I
Drive.
don't remember. Yeah, you're like, I don't remember anything. Well, instead of asking my manager when that day came and I was remote, I could simply just spec it and find that information and not have to feel like, hey, I forgot what you told me yesterday, can you tell me what that is again?
I
So
like it. It's already a verb, huh? You just have to spec
it,
it.
it's a verb, I'm telling you. Yes, I love it, you're already catching on.
And Megan, I've also noticed that you're like pretty consistent and like putting yourself out there with creating content. I know like that's obviously a really big challenge for people, not only just to think of creative content, but just getting themselves to really push out of their comfort zone and start creating content on these digital platforms. Like any advice for anyone out there who may be relatively new to the sales game but sort of want to start pushing more content and just be a little bit more confident in their brand?
Yeah, I would say just go for it. No one knows that you're not an expert at it until they know. And so it's really just fake it till you make it, I like to say. I created my LinkedIn a week before I started
No
interviewing back
way.
in February, and just was like, I'm going to add a bunch of people. I'm going to see what's going on. And so I just looked at people I wanted to be like, and I took a little bit of everyone and then put
Hmm.
my own niche to it, and just was like, if thinking, oh, I don't have that many people that follow me, it'll be fine. Like, no one's going to see this. And then more and more people started seeing and started liking. I was like, oh, okay, people like what I'm saying. So I would just say be yourself and, just try everything out and take what you like from other people and just make it your own. Really nothing to be scared about. It's just the internet. You're looking at your phone all day. You're not even talking to anyone. So,
Seriously.
know.
What have you found to be like the most successful? Are you really big into like videos or like written content? Because All of it's really good, but I'm curious, like, where do you feel like you're the strongest at?
So I love video. Right now, I think I got pretty lucky starting as an SDR with video being such a hot thing right now. I don't know. It just, you're staring at yourself. No one else is around you. You're not face to face with anyone, and you could just try anything out, send it, and just have fun with it. So I love video. I don't know if it's the dancer in me that just is like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm used to just putting myself out there. And if I mess up, it's not like millions of people or fans are staring at me in the middle of the court. Like, it's just my phone. So yeah, I love video, love the content, but I also like posting, and just when something happens in real time, just put it out on LinkedIn and see if anyone else has been in the same situation and just learn from each other.
100%. I guess for anyone listening to this podcast that may be doing something totally different than they might in the future, for example, like you were a professional dancer turned salesperson, like what advice do you have for someone who has that stereotype in their head, or there's things holding them back from posting that next video, or trying sales, that sort of gap? Do you have any advice for someone just considering the profession of sales, and maybe some things to look at differently?
Yeah, so a few things. One would be, don't watch any movie that's completely
That's so
I
true.
feel like it's so cheesy and it's so intimidating,
Yeah,
and it's not like that at all. Luckily, I didn't watch any until after I made it, and I was like, oh, thank goodness it's not like that anymore. So just get rid of the stereotypes. They're not helping anyone at all. And really just try to get out there and network and communicate with people that are in the space that you want to get into, and just really pick their brain. That's what I did. And I think if you know everything you could possibly jump into, the good, the bad, and the ugly, then you can know, hey, can I do this, or can I not? So I think it's just great. And if anything, you're networking and you're meeting new people, and it's just
100%.
fun to chat with new people, especially being remote. It's nice to have different relationships in different ways. So erase the stereotypes and just really chat it up with other people to really learn if it's for you or not for you.
Yeah, just give it a shot, right? I feel like do you have a lot of friends that you feel like could be really good SDRs, but just like don't want to do it, or?
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of friends that are just, I would say fearless. And so I feel like if you're fearless, you're going to be a great SDR, because you don't care if someone says no, you don't care if someone hangs up, you don't care, all the bad stuff. I'm not highlighting any of the good right now, but you kind of, if you're fearless, if you have the confidence, or if you
Mhm.
just fake it until you make it. I know
Right.
some people love that saying, some people don't, but I think anyone could be an SDR. I think it just comes down to the grit. I think that's a big part of it. Realizing that more 8 months into being an SDR, like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I got this! Like, let's do it." And then it comes around again, and we're deeper in the pandemic. I'm like,
For
"Oh, we'll be
sure.
back in the office in a month." No, okay, a month later, and it just keeps on getting pushed back. So I think grit is really what gets you through it, because you have to be okay with doing the same hustle every day and different outcomes.
So what's next for you? Do you want to go down that AE route, or do you want to like do more content marketing? What's sort of your vision in this SaaS world?
That's a great question. I've actually been juggling that question in my mind quite a bit lately. Not sure what the future holds. I'm really just enjoying the moment and trying to be present right now and just learn all that I can as an SDR. We are, hiring, and so I'm excited just to help other people on our team and then also learn from them. So I'm just kind of enjoying the moment right now. I feel like too many people are wanting to fast forward to
For
2021, so
sure.
I'm trying to embrace everything and just say, let's take the positive, let's enjoy it, and see what comes. So, but I do enjoy being an SDR, and I enjoy putting out content that people like. So we'll see where that goes.
I think there's a world where we could perhaps do both, but I guess we'll have to see, right?
Totally, yeah.
Megan, thank you so much. For anyone listening that was really inspired by this conversation here and wants to just pick your brain a bit further, where can they find you?
Yeah, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I live on LinkedIn. I love it. I love social selling. I love just chatting with people and hopping on Zooms from time to time just to, change up my day. So find me on LinkedIn, message me. I add basically everyone that comes as a request. So
there you go. Awesome, Megan. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time today. Sales Dev Squad, I hope you found this extremely helpful. Please connect with her. She's posting a bunch of great content really frequently, and I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.